Hey man, it's going down up in this thing, man. Young Kinda down in the building, man. Y'all make some noise out there one time. Kind After Dark, baby. We here. 2023, it is going down.
Yes, sir.
It is your host with the most from coast to coast. They call me Young Kinda Don, man. Some of y'all call me Coach Con. Some of y'all call me Brother D, but you already know how I do it. It's all ego energy up in this thing, man. We like to welcome y'all. It's a lot of people that didn't make it into 2023, but you know what?
Thanks.
You did. So celebrate the fact that you crossed the finish line of 2022, and now you coming out the gate. It's some people done checked out already. I'm talking about families done checked out. Gangsta Boo done checked out. People done checked out already, man. So what are you going to do with the time that you got? Because you never know when it's your last lap around this track, man. So live it like you going to leave something for the people to see after you up out of here. All right, so y'all better get ready, man. I don't know how they be letting me get up in this thing, but some kind of way they let me get up here and do my podcast. So until they cut me off, I'm going to keep on doing them. I'm going to keep on bringing the energy. I'm going to bring you quality people. I'm going to bring you quality guests. Every time it's going to be real. It's going to be authentic. It's going to be uncut. They never know what I'm going to ask them, but it's going to be good, boy. We got two of the dopest people. I'm talking about entrepreneurs, y'all. I'm talking about go-getters. I'm talking about money makers. I like to call them Mr. and Mrs. Make It Happen. That's what I call them, because they don't sit around and wait for somebody. They don't wait for some mystery God to do something for them.
Thanks.
They apply themselves. They go out there. They get it done, man. And I only have quality people on Con After Dark. It's not about how much fame and popularity you got. It's about how real you are, how much game you can give, how much value you can provide. And on this show, we like to focus on three things: entrepreneurship, relationships, and stewardship. And for those of y'all that don't know what stewardship is how responsible are you to be able to impart guidance and wisdom to other people that's coming up under you that God blessed you to have some type of influence over, man. So those are the three ships that we focus on Kind After Dark. So without any further ado, it's gonna be good. That's all I'm gonna tell you. If you got your teas and your juices and whatever you got, man, just go on, settle down. We gonna get it in. And we gonna start it off with our first guest. She said that she's making history. Now, with all that she's been doing, I don't even know how this could be the first time, but I guess I'm blessed to have her on my show. Y'all make some noise one time for Miss GSO herself, a.k.a. Miss Regina Underwood in the building. Y'all make some noise for her one time.
Hello.
It is an honor, and I don't even know how I got you away from your business to get you in here to do this.
Yeah, that was definitely a job.
My husband.
Hey, say less. That's all. You know, husband mean manager too.
He is my manager.
Come on with it. That's what I'm talking about. See, ain't nothing wrong with giving up the props, y'all. We a team. You know, when they watch a boxer or they watch an entertainer, they say, "Will you come do a show?" They say, "You got to talk to my manager." We're going to get to the manager in a minute, but right now, we're going to talk to the star. So, Miss Regina, if you don't mind, for those that may not know who you are, could you give what I like to call your origin story? Could you just take us back to who you are and how you became who you are right now, for those that don't know?
I don't know. It happened over a lot of years.
Okay. Well, what? So if you need help now, I don't mind. I know how to help people.
I don't need no
Can
help
you
now.
go back?
A lot done happened.
Can you go back to when you first got in the game of entrepreneurship? Let's start right there. Your earliest.
I was on my way out the womb.
Okay. Well, what was you doing?
I tell everybody I was born. I came out the womb a success.
Okay. So what was you specializing in?
I was beauty. God
Okay.
came here and blessed the earth.
Okay. Come on with it. Talk
I'm
your
just
talk.
being honest.
Somehow you quit your job and you went door to door and all that.
I want to know the GSO story.
Yeah, that's the
First of all,
story.
what does GSO stand for?
First of all, it was 1994, so that this January made it 29 years.
Your 29th year anniversary
Yeah.
in GSO.
Which started out as a craft, a hobby.
Well, that's what we want to know. See, you got to tell us how it started, because I'm going to tell you why. Because there's somebody out there right now that's watching you. And you don't know they watching you, but they are inspired by you, but they don't know how you got to this point. So take us back to when GSO first started? How did you get into it? What is GSO? How did you get into that game? And take us from there.
Well, a lot of people do know because I tell my story all the time, but you never know when a new ear is listening.
Oh yeah, see, Conscious Nation. I got something called the Conscious Nation. They may not know who you are right now, but by the time we get done, they're gonna know who you are. So.
And I just started out selling fragrance oils, body oils. I was just known as Regina's Good Sense, and I worked at the casino. Everybody know I worked at the casino. A lot of my friends on here worked with me. And I didn't make enough money, and I had a son. I was a single mother with a young son, and I was broke on the day I got paid.
So this was in '94.
No, in '94 I actually started out selling oils for another person, and she didn't never want to pay me, and I was giving her like turning all the money into her, and she didn't ever want to pay me. So I said, either you could give me a connect or you could pay me. And she didn't want to pay me.
What year was this? Do you remember?
That was 94.
94. So you voluntarily was helping a friend of yours.
Yeah, I mean, I was helping everybody. Somebody else I knew was selling candles.
Okay.
And I was helping her sell her candles. And then the person who I was selling the oils for, she didn't want to pay me. She was just like checking it in. I'll take that. Thank you.
Wow.
And so I started looking for my own connect. And back then there was no internet. And I called a few places and I stumbled across the connect and then I started bottling up my own stuff and prettying up my labels. I had pretty labels.
So you always knew that you had the ability to sell. That ain't never been an issue for you.
No, I think I was born to sell.
Well, that's important.
Some people are born for that. Some people come here with that gift.
So before the internet.
Before the internet.
You had to find the plug.
Yeah.
You found the fragrance plug.
And let me remind you, that then it cost to call long distance.
Oh yeah, I remember.
You went back on that one.
I remember them days. See, y'all youngsters, you used to have to pay. You used to have to pay to do that.
Free.
It wasn't like just pick a number in your phone and dial it.
It was when you got that Ameritech bill and it said this phone number took 15 minutes and it was this how much it cost.
They was taxing too.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you got your product. So how did you?
I got a phone book.
You got the phone book.
And called some places some of the places I called turned me on to some of the places they knew. I went through a bunch of phone numbers. And then they sent me samples.
So you was getting samples, catalogs.
Yeah, hundreds of samples. I went through hundreds of samples before I narrowed it down to this is it. And then I became the girl with the best fragrance oils.
Okay, so now you
uncut because people be like
it wasn't stepped on.
Yeah, her stuff wasn't stepped on.
No, people would be like, this oil smell better than theirs, but theirs is like 3 for, they cut the black market. But me, I would learn how to turn the bottle upside down. If I didn't see no bubbles, I was like, them bubbles.
So the bubbles mean
anybody in the oil game know what them bubbles.
The bubbles mean it been stepped on a little bit.
Yeah. The bubbles mean I got 3 bills to pay, and y'all gonna help me pay these 3 bills. Now you figure it out.
See, I'm telling you, gonna get the real game up in here. Okay, so you started, you found your connect, you start packaging.
Yeah.
And labeling.
Yeah, and I made my own cute labels myself. I wrote them out, but they was cute as a button.
Handwritten.
Yeah. And I prettied up everything up. I had bags. And I should have brought some with me, but I still have all of my flyers, and I still have all of my receipts from the 90s.
Yes, you do. Every one of them.
See, this is for people that think that you just pop up and you just doing it. They don't understand. One of my OGs told me it takes 20 years to make an overnight success.
Man, that's fast.
But do you have what it takes to grind that long? Can you go until it happens? So you start moving your product. you were selling, you were still working at this point. So this was a side hustle, or once you found your connect, you left the job altogether. How did that work?
People started walking past me and I wore suits to work every day because I worked in finance, and the casino was loaded with employees, thousands of them.
The customers was already there.
The employees were my customers, so they would walk past me and roll up a piece of paper and put it in my pocket, and I'm thinking they were just orders, but when I would get home, it would be the money rolled up with the orders, so they paid me for their orders in advance.
Ain't nothing like that advance money.
I would go home at the end of the day and count up like $700-800, and that's how much my check was every 2 weeks. So I'm making $700-800 a day at the casino.
After how long did it take for you to make that type of money in a day? From the time you found the connect, decided you're gonna sell your own stuff, how long did that take?
It was 2 years.
It took about 2 years of gradual, consistent build up.
Yeah.
But once you was rolling, so now we're talking about 96.
And so in 96, 97, I made up flyers. I had these cute flyers, and I still have them. I even had buttons for people to wear. I wear fragrances.
That's a good story. You'll like this
made
one.
by Regina. And everybody had the buttons. They wear them.
So where did the buttons come from?
Just being creative. I had these flyers that says Regina's Good Sense. It had my phone number and my house number.
Your
and
face.
And my face was on the picture, on the flyer. And it had all the fragrance oils that everybody loved. And so I went one Saturday to a beauty salon, and I saw my flyer on the mirror, and my face was tore off, and I said, "Why is my face tore off for that flyer?" And the girl said, "Because I took that flyer home, and I want my husband to see your cute ass on my damn and your number on there too." No. So the next time I had my flyers made, I took my face off of there. And I took Regina off of Good Sense, and it just became Good Sense Oils. Because it was Regina's Good Sense.
See, that, yeah, good learning lesson.
You took that jewel. She didn't know she was dropping a jewel.
Yeah, there you go.
But it made you say, if I got my face on him and this type of
on her
information,
sales.
it might
It was
impede
hurting
my
my
sales.
money. It was
okay.
Yeah.
See, you got to be able to pay attention.
be moldable.
Y'all take notes. That's jewel number one.
Yep.
Be able to take notes and notice what you got to do to adjust.
That's right.
My coach used to tell me a difference between a professional and an amateur is a professional can adjust, but an amateur can't.
Amateur king.
Amateurs cannot adjust. They just want it their way. It got to
right.
be a certain way all the time, or it's no compromise. And those are usually the people that don't make it to the next level because they're not willing to be flexible
Gotta be like water.
or to adjust.
Be like water.
Well, you have to have grandparents like I had. Baby, if you had a grandfather like Willie Moe, he said, "Don't leave no crumbs on the table, girl." None.
Now, what's the science on that? Leaving crumbs on the table.
Yeah, you leave. You could have took it all home, but you left crumbs behind.
For somebody else to get.
Don't leave no crumbs on the table, girl.
And that was Willie Moe.
Yeah.
Shout out to Willie. Jewel number 2. I'm telling you, don't leave crumbs on the table. And a lot of people doing that.
That's right.
And
right
guess
now.
What? Listen, my husband, we've been friends since 4th grade. But when we became later in life, when we started dating, and he was teaching me the game of insurance, because I got in the insurance game because of him.
I mean, you fast forward and see.
I got to fast forward because it's relevant to what we just said.
Okay.
Just real quick.
You the boss right now.
Because when he brought me into the insurance game, and he was thinking he was teaching me how to sell. He was teaching me insurance, but I already knew how to sell. And he always said that too. And he never even met my grandfather.
Yeah, I
He
did.
said, "Don't leave no crumbs on the table."
I did.
See?
And that's what she was
Energy
like, wait a minute.
is constant.
She was like, wait a minute, you sound like my grandfather. My grandfather just said it all the time, but I don't leave nothing on the table.
Yeah.
Anybody come behind me, if I sell you, anybody come right behind me, it's over. It's done. I'm the last one you're going to see.
Hey,
He just can't sell me though.
we going to get to him in a
I
minute.
sell you, trust me. I sell you every day.
He locked you down. He closed the
Shut
sale.
up, man.
You got his name, so that means he closed the sale. He sold you the whole thing.
No.
Checkmate.
No, that's different.
That's true. That's true though. Just surrender.
He
boo.
closed. He closed.
Okay.
Yep. Surrender.
Because you ain't got nobody else's name right now but his.
Yep.
I concur. Let's move along.
Okay. We just gonna let the record show now.
Yeah.
Okay, so 96. Now you rolling. You still at the job though.
Yeah.
Making.
No, that wasn't 96. Yes, it was 96.
It's about 96. So
that went on until 2004.
Were you still at the job? Did you stayed at the job?
Yeah, in 2004, I was done. I woke up one day and my son, he was throwing house parties when I was at work. He was throwing house parties when I was at work. No, he was a kid, and I said, this job is not family friendly, and it doesn't benefit my household anymore. And if you broke on the day that you get paid, you need to leave, like I did. And there was no internet. Again, there was no internet, and we were just coming out with cell phones. And I quit. I called in on a Saturday, and I said, I'm not coming in. And my boss at the time, she said, you calling off on a Saturday? I said, actually, I'm quitting. And I didn't even have another job lined up.
Did you have money saved?
I had 401. My 401k, I called and pulled the money out of my 401k, and I spent every dime of it on inventory.
Okay, so
I paid my rent for that month because I was living in an apartment at the time. I paid my rent for that month and all my other little bills. The rest of the money, I ordered buku oil.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. What made you so sure that you could just quit and say, I'm going to go for it from here without another job lined up? Because, see, that's a special...
That's something you don't try at home.
That's a special trait that entrepreneurs have.
Yeah.
Well,
we're willing to go for it.
Let go.
There is nothing that says, hey, it's time. It's inside of you. So what was inside of me was a burning fire, was a fed upness, and was a hunger. And so this is when the internet didn't exist, and I went door to door.
But what made you have enough faith that you could do it without this job? That you just gonna buy all this inventory and this merch, and you gonna be stocked up, and you gonna go for it. What made you believe that you could do it?
The years that passed, I built up a clientele. So people were always calling me, and the money that I made was comfortable.
And it was consistent.
It was consistent.
Okay. So your job at this point, what your hustle was out paying your job.
Yeah.
So you wasn't worried about that part so much.
Well, scary days came because, even I'm a business owner now, and still scary days come.
We're going to get to the scary days.
It gets quiet. It was quiet then sometimes, but I was innovative. I'm always creative and innovative. When it got quiet, I found things to do. So I started calling around. Who having a barbecue? Who having a baby shower? Wherever there was a gathering,
you became resourceful.
She was there.
I was loaded up. My car was loaded up.
So,
and they was Gina here.
How much would you say when you quit? How much would you say that you spent before going full throttle? When you said you just bought all the oils and the supplies and everything you needed to initially start at that point? If you just had to put a ballpark and say it was 5,000, 3,000.
You mean when I quit my job?
Yes.
Yeah, well, when I used my 401k after I paid all my bills, I spent about $4,500.
$4,500.
Yeah, and at the time, that was good money.
It's still good money to
not people. With oils because they've increased the price of the oils now.
But it depends on who you are and how resourceful you can be.
And then, and I still refused to cut the oil. I could have went further if I was
stepped on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't step on it.
Mm-mm.
You spent about $4,500, and the rest was history.
Yeah.
Good Sense Oils is in the game.
And I bought myself an event planner, and I started calling people. I started loading my event planning book up. My book was so loaded that I started calling people I knew. I got an event to work. If I pay you, can you work it for me? All you gotta do is sell the oil.
Now, how much time went by before you filled up your event planner? And where did you learn this skill, or was it instinctive?
Less than a month. No, it's like do or die. It was survival. I had a son to feed. So I bought a book. I was like, okay, I got to do something. I bought a book and I started writing down events and what people, because I'm forgetful, and people having this and having that, and I would go to those events, and I looked up and I had 3 events booked on a Saturday.
And then I ran across and bought the whole thing at Walgreens.
So I would call my friends and like, if I pay you, can you work this event for me? And I paid them good.
So within 1 month of you quitting your job,
I was popping.
You already had your inventory.
Mm-hmm.
You bought you a planner. You had multiple events lined up.
Yeah.
You had a customer base.
Mm-hmm. And then I had sales reps.
And you had sales reps. You wasn't like your friend that wanted you to sell and then you didn't get nothing. You had a sales force.
No,
she broke bread with everybody.
I gave them 50% of the sales.
Golly, wait a minute now. How
I
you
did,
give them?
because it was a quick flip.
Look at God.
It was a quick. Listen, it was a quick flip. The money was coming so fast.
Yeah, sometimes you can do that when it's fast. When it's flipping.
And then it turned into me having like over 300 sales reps.
Oh yeah, that was huge then.
I had girls putting in $4,000-$5,000 orders with me, a piece.
But listen, we gotta get to the point though, how you graduated from the oils to the creams and the scrubs, because that's where you really
we can't get off that. See, the oil game is always.
She wasn't selling oil. This wasn't oils right here, baby. This wasn't all oils right here. We were talking about with the sales force. They had your scrubs at that time.
It was the beginning of it.
It was the beginning of it though. Yeah.
But so you really been doing this for a long time. That's the overall point that I wanted to make and stress to those that see you now, that know you. You didn't just get to the point where you shipping out of your business all over the country. And, whole pallets of shea butter and scrubs and all of that. This has been...
It's been a process for
decades.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is the part that people miss.
They miss that.
They see the greatness,
they
but they don't see what it
the
took
work to put into
become great.
The work.
So what I want you to do now,
put a lot of work into this,
which leads me to the second thing. Talk about the difficult parts, the hard parts. Wasn't any time that you said, "I don't want to do it anymore"?
Oh man,
was there any?
He already know it is, man. That's why he asked
mine. I'm talking about for the audience,
because he went through the same thing.
Because it's somebody right now. There's somebody right now that's got it all on the table, and they don't know what they're gonna do tomorrow.
That's right. He right.
So I'm asking you to talk about. Give me a real situation.
You have to be halfway insane. Because no sane person, when you sane, you logical. I was irrational a lot. I was irrational. I was hungry. And then I had, my personal life. It was just me and my son, because my grandparents were in another state, and then I wasn't really close with my parents. Well, I was close with my parents, but I was one of those that just never answered my phone.
Independent, just super independent.
Yeah.
So give me, go back into your memory bank and give me a specific event. You don't have to tell names or nothing like that, but where you contemplated, am I even doing the right thing, or should I do something? Well, just give me one.
That's what she
said.
She's
got it in your head. My job is to get it out your head.
Give him a couple, baby. When you quit a couple
Tell
times.
me when you was like, man, I'm done with this.
Tell them the story where the celebrity called you.
You don't have oils up to your elbows.
And the celebrity called you and told you to get back in that game now.
In the process of starting your own business with no capital, no help from a bank, no funding, no angel investors. You using all mud money. In the process of all of that, you get doubt set in. And
but why would doubt set in? That's what I'm saying. See,
because
I'm very good at making you go beneath the surface.
Well, you don't have to, but I mean, I'm gonna share it, but it's a lot to share, and for me, I'm like an emotional creature.
But that's what I want to know.
emotional,
Give me one of them dark
so-
nights.
Well, a lot of it had to do with me being a single mother.
Okay.
So, I'm outside grounded, and I had to start dragging him along with me. And because leaving him behind, life happens, like life gets hard sometimes. And
Can you give me a specific moment where, as emotional as you can be, to where I'm talking about, it was.
He's trying to get in my business. Y'all.
That's what I'm saying. This is Con After Dark.
Just give him one. There's so many, Regina. Just give him one.
See, the dark part.
Y'all know how private I am.
Listen to me though. You ain't doing this just for you. You doing this for the person that you don't even know is watching you. And that person will be inspired
By you.
by your story. And they will, because they going through it right now and they don't know what they should continue doing. So give a real example. I can give real examples. I know ML gonna give some real examples of moments turning points is what I like to call them. Give me a turning point.
Well, I could tell you I was in a car with an ex-boyfriend at the time.
Okay.
And he was murdered in front of me. And
What year?
I was selling oils then. That was in 1997. So that was in 97 when that happened. I was selling oils then, and I wasn't working at that. I was just beginning to work. And that interfered with everything that I was doing.
He was murdered in front of you.
Yeah, right
He
there in
was
the same car.
sitting in the car with me.
Y'all was in the car. Were you working or y'all was just chilling?
No, I was in the car with him. We was in front of a nightclub.
Okay.
And he was murdered sitting directly next to me, like 14 bullets.
Yeah.
And not
14,
one of them
man.
hit me.
So they intentionally came for him specifically.
Well, an incident happened inside of the nightclub where he broke up a fight. And the person that he interfered, pulled apart, that person was taller than him, and they didn't like the fact that he had so much power to be short. Well, anyway, we were leaving. We got in the car. It was snowing real bad, and we were going. He was taking me back home, and they just pulled up on the side of us and unloaded. And it was snowing real bad. And he wound up dying right next to me. So I was selling oils at the time. That interfered with what I was doing.
Well, I would imagine so. That's a traumatic.
Yeah, that was sick. 14 bullets?
You asked for that.
14.
But see,
None of them hit her.
I got to keep you in the snow for a minute.
We ain't finna relive that.
No. I'm not saying relive it because you passed it. But it's somebody going through something right now that it's snowing in their life right now. Today is that day for them. They don't know it's their day, but it's their day right now.
That was very traumatizing to me. But life still happened after that.
Right. So as it related to your business, when that happened, how did that impact your business? Did you stop selling for days?
Did you get depressed? My money.
Okay.
Yeah. And I wasn't, because that was my income. And so then I wasn't working for a minute, and I had to snap out of it. I had to move out of that apartment that I was in because I couldn't, it was just too much in
drama.
Memories.
Yeah.
And so I had to move out of that apartment and regroup. Then I was back at it again.
How much time would you say took place?
It was always 2 or 3 years in between.
So this wasn't just no overnight. You just, boom, I'm back at it. It took time. That's what I'm saying. because of something as traumatic as that.
When I moved to the next apartment, oh my God. When I moved to the next apartment, this was during the time where the place where you ordered the oils from, the fragrances, they used to let you order COD. That's how long I've been selling oils. Because, and UPS people know me, like all of the drivers, when y'all saw the woman Julia say, I've been shipping her packages for years, she literally had. It's a video of a UPS lady on my Instagram. And she was telling them how long she been knowing me. So, I mean, my suppliers would ship me like $3,000-$4,000 worth of product without me paying for it. I will give the UPS driver cash. They don't do that no more. But that's how long I've been selling oils. Yeah.
So,
and I was living on the third floor of an apartment building, and they would have to bring all them boxes upstairs, 3 flights.
But how did you regroup after that traumatic event?
That's always. I reinvent myself daily.
But how? What I'm saying is,
I don't remember. It's just something when you go to sleep. I'm one of them people when I go to sleep and I wake up.
She's just a survivor. She's just like
something in me
whatever
regenerates in my sleep.
Yeah, and she just
I go to sleep way down, tired of the world and just ready to clock out. Okay, I be like, God, come get me while I'm asleep. Okay, so I'm sick of this down here. I don't know what I can't take it no more. But when I wake up, I'll be like, hey y'all,
okay,
let's do this, and that's every day. I go to bed at night like, don't touch me. But hey, I had a rough day. And then when I wake up the next day, I'll be like, fuck America when I go to sleep.
You back at it again.
So when I wake up the next day, I'll be like, oh my God, when I went to sleep, I had so many ideas. My whole head is vibrant, colorful, innovative. I'll be like, oh, I know what I'm going to do today.
Okay.
I wake up burning his ears out.
Yeah, a lot of time you've been through so much in your life that, you kind of handle trials and difficulties different than the average person. That's how she has her own way of handling it because she's been through so much that she would probably never talk about here. You'd probably read it out her book or something that got her personality the way she is right now.
I'm working on my book.
Her personality.
It's called.
You'll understand who she is.
I did everything before.
Yeah. She's been through, she's been through, the average woman probably wouldn't be where she at right now. What she went through is, man.
That's how my mother is because trials either make you better or they make you worse. Yep. You one of those people that trials made you better.
Yeah.
My mother's one of those people that trials have made her better where the average person.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been, you can deal with it.
It would break them.
It would broke them.
And turn them into the very thing that broke them.
That's true.
But those type of people are exceptional and they are not the rule, they are the exception. So shout out to you. So as you still at it, you incorporated not just oils now, but you also got your sugar scrubs.
Next level.
So you
Elevated,
started adding and bringing more to your product line.
That's right.
So
how did that happen?
Because I was very close to my grandmother, Ella Mae. And I was always hopping in the car, driving to Mississippi. Well, Ella Mae my grandparents moved from Mississippi to Chicago. I was born in Chicago. And so while she was living here, I was always in the kitchen with her. And then when she moved back to Mississippi, I would drive to Mississippi, and I was always in the field with her because she lived on 500 acres of land. And I was always in the field with her, and we would get everything out the garden and bring it in, and I was always watching her bake. And a lot of stuff that she used to bake, I was watching her recipes. She would write everything down and put it in her little recipe box. And she would just sit every day and think just like I do. I feel like sometimes she in my body.
Well, this is true.
I tell my husband this because I be sitting
thinking. Yes, is always with you.
I be sitting thinking, and I find myself positioned the same way she was. And I would say, you know what? The same thing she used to do. You know what? I'm going to bake. I'm going to put that. I got a recipe in there. And then I started engrossing like what she would do. So I took her recipes and made skincare products with them.
from her food recipes.
Her baking recipes.
Yeah.
And you applied the recipe to the fragrances.
Yeah.
See, but that's an example of what I'm
Not
talking
the
about.
fragrances. I would create the recipe. I would use her recipes, like with the sugar and all of that, the vanilla, all of that. I would use her recipes to make my products.
But what gave you the idea?
My grandmother.
But and it goes back to what I was saying earlier.
And she would say, "Hey, do you have them little oils you selling? You got some youth do?" I said, "Yeah, I got youth do." Well, let me see if it's good as mine. Send me some. So when I sent her my version of youth do, she said, "I'm never buying Estee Lauder again." You hit it on the head.
But see, she impacted you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she probably didn't know to what degree she was impacting you.
She didn't know the degree.
So now to many people, whether you know it or not, you are like grandma. And they're watching you from a distance. They're listening to your energy. They're watching your vibe. And they're learning from you.
All her friends view her as that. All
so
of them.
This is why this is important for us to document. And I tell this to our people all the time. We are brilliant and we have suffered a lot, and it produces this creative gene in us. And so what happens is, because we don't document it, because we don't systemize it, when we die, it dies with us.
It dies with us, that's true, yeah.
But those other people, the mayonnaise mafia, I like to call them, they document everything. They put it in a book. They pass it down from generation to generation. And then before you know it, they've been in business 100 years, 115 years. Yeah. But when we go, we build up our shop, our business, and then our health deteriorates. Or God forbid something happens to us, and now our children or our loved ones, they can't carry it on because they didn't know where to order the product. They didn't know how to make the recipe. They didn't know the aspects of shipping. They didn't know accounting. They didn't know record keeping. So now everything that you worked your whole life for gets destroyed in a few months or even a couple of years. All the wealth that you accumulated because there was no system that we could pass down to our loved ones and our family to be able to carry it on, and our brilliance goes into the grave with us. That's why you need to document. Not saying that you haven't, because obviously you got all of your history yourself, the buttons, the packaging, the flyers. You kept all of that.
Yes, I have everything from the past.
But that's very important, and that is a rarity.
Like literally every receipt that I've given a customer from the beginning, I have it in boxes. And you can still see the ink. You know how ink fades after a while? Mm-hmm. Mine didn't.
But this is an awesome story. So now we're going to speed it up a little bit, because we need to know when Earvin-Underwood came into the picture. So
you mean as my partner, or
when I pulled up on your Walgreens and I bought the
pulled up on you one time.
I bought the whole box.
He pulled up on you one time.
No.
Okay, tell them. It's so many times.
Y'all do realize, women, now we might have to do 2 parts.
No, we're not doing 2 parts.
Because part 2 gonna be his side.
Well, listen. Actually, I was trying to call a friend.
Oh, you talking about that time? Okay, yeah.
And I was trying to call my best friend at the time, and I dialed the wrong number. Her number and his number was like a digit off. And
about when was this?
What year? Was that? That had to be like 93.
It had to be like.
No, it had to be 96, 97.
97, yep.
So caller ID, we didn't really have it then. But I dialed him, and I hadn't seen him since high school.
Mm. Y'all went to the same high school together?
Yeah.
Elementary too.
Elementary, junior high school.
So y'all been knowing each other
since 4th grade.
Since 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all was never boyfriend and girlfriend during this time?
No, nothing.
Now
we was dapper. What that?
Okay, cool.
I used to hit on her butt though.
Stop it.
She never knew it was me.
Listen.
She never knew it was me. She was like, couldn't be Underwood. He's too smart. She used to beat up my partners. They didn't know. They was like, man, what's mine? I'm trying to tell y'all.
No,
I'm just kidding.
So I was dialing my friend, and he picked up, and I asked for her, and he was like, "That's not her number. You know, other people have called here for." He says, "This Regina."
He knew your voice.
Yeah, I know a voice.
I said, "Who is this?" And he was like, "That's Marlon." Marlon. I said, "How did you know this was me?" He said, "Your voice. I remember your voice from high school."
See, he already had you. He had plans for you. If a man knew your voice and never really talked to you on the phone,
I know.
he already in his mind had plans for you. I'm telling you.
We talked for like 45 minutes that day.
I'm telling you now.
And he was married, and I was married. We was married to two different people.
Yeah, man. That was.
I had a husband, and he had a wife. And when we talked, I was like, "That was strange as hell." When I get off the phone, I was like, "Oh."
I said the same thing. I was like, "Man, hold up, man."
Now, why was it strange?
Because that was just strange. Okay, that was just strange. But the world works in mysterious ways. I'm just saying.
But no, we ain't gonna get up off that. We gonna
get up off that.
Why did it feel strange?
Because
God,
strange in a good way or a bad way?
Strange in a weird way.
Okay, so but what about
because I'm not even gonna.
You start feeling someone. I mean, you feeling someone, and it's not right to feel that for that person at that time. When you're married, it's not right to feel a certain kind of way about another female. You know what I'm saying?
It was an uncomfortable thing, but it was part of a divine plan.
They call that divine intervention.
Yes.
However, I knew that just the thought of that was wrong. I was like, that was weird. I hung up that phone, and then 2 years later, I saw him in the barbershop. I was like,
"Oh, you talking about that time?"
Wait a minute now. Y'all was on the phone for 45 minutes.
We did.
That wasn't just you called the wrong number.
But it wasn't an inappropriate conversation.
It was just because y'all been knowing each other.
Yeah. So we had a lot of friends. We had a lot to talk about.
Of course.
Now, I got off the phone. Then when I hung up that phone, I was like, "Oh, gosh." Didn't think nothing of it. 2 years passed, seen him in the barbershop. I was taking my son to get his hair cut, and I was like, "Oh, my God, no." Like, really? He was like, "Hey, Regina," you know, Mr. Charming.
I was fat in the mud then, too. I was a big boy.
Like,
she gonna put her hand on my stomach. "Boy, you been eating some eating, Mom. You been eating good." "Mom, you been eating good." I was like, "Yeah, I have. I have, Gina.
I'm live."
All right, go ahead.
So I saw him in the barbershop. We talked again for a little bit, and then that was it. I cut it short.
So from the phone call to the barbershop was 2 years. Mm-hmm. And you didn't talk to him when you accidentally called him. 2 years went by. Mm-hmm. You see him at the shop.
And then it might have been a little longer than 2 years after that, because I saw him again one night when I was coming from a gathering in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I had some oils left with me. Excuse me. And he was like, "What you doing out this late?" I said, "I'm actually headed home. I'm leaving Chicago. I was selling some products out in Chicago." He said, "What you got in your trunk?" I bet everybody in Walgreens get what they want. And he bought everything I had.
I mean, so he didn't buy out the bar. He bought out the car.
He bought my entire inventory that was left.
He bought the car out.
The whole inventory, man.
So did you know how much everything was in the car?
I'm very
anal,
precise.
You anal and precise.
Yes.
So you knew the cost.
Yeah.
And he said he gonna buy it all.
I had about $700 worth of stuff left from the entire day.
He bought the car out.
He just went in his pocket and was like, "How much is all that? Here, you take it, and if you sell the rest of it and you make more money, whatever. Here." He bought everything that was in it and told everybody to get what they wanted.
Hold on, let me look in the camera for a minute. look. Hey, y'all. See, y'all buying the bar out. You need to figure out how to buy the car out.
He's right.
Don't buy the bar. Then go to the club. If you buy the car out, then she gonna come your way. I'm telling you what. Hey,
that's a good one. That's a good one, bro. That's a good one.
Don't buy the bar out. Buy the car out, man.
So he after he paid all that money, he said, "Have you ever thought about opening a store?" And I said, "I have."
But wait a minute. Let's get to the moment when he peeled off and bought the car out. What did you say in your mind?
Actually, before he went in his pocket, I went in Walgreens to get something, and I saw him. And he was like, there you are again. So this time I'm walking past and I was just finna dap, like, how somebody pat you on your back walking past? He snatched me and kissed me. He said, I wasn't finna let you walk past me and not give me a kiss this time. This was
Wait a minute now. See, I tried to tell you, the man had you on the radar.
And then he bought everything in the car after that. And then he said, if you're thinking about opening a store, I'll invest.
Okay, but when he bought...
That was in 2006, 2005.
But when he bought the car out, tell your audience and my audience...
They don't need to know all of that.
Yes, you out there now. You might well swim. You in the water.
Is y'all listening to this?
What crossed your mind?
Nothing.
That was just like a regular old sale to you.
Do you know I made more money that day than I made with him back?
So are you saying that wasn't impressive to you?
No. If you knew my life story, you'll know why that wasn't.
Okay. I'm gonna give you that just
I'm
for this.
just saying.
We're gonna come back.
It's
on
just
part
a whole
two.
bit. It's just so many different times. That's just
So you
one.
didn't think
That's just
nothing else.
one,
I
man.
just say I was used to money. So
Okay,
that
cool.
That
No
was
problem.
not impressive, but that was impressive at the fact that he wanted to do that.
Okay.
But
Well,
it wasn't the money.
I'm not saying the money. I said, what did you think about him?
Nothing.
You just came up. That was just a good sale.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like what
You still weren't paying him no attention. You said.
and not until he said you need an investor. I was like, yep. And I was like, what shoes you got on?
You hear this woman, man?
Then I was
Hey,
like,
I bet
what
all the
kind of
women
suit
listen to
is
this
that?
like, that's it. Yeah, that's what I'd have done too.
I said, what kind of suit is that?
So it was when he said
He wanted to invest.
invest.
And he stood on it. Because not only did he invest for me to have a store, he bought a building cash for me.
And you still didn't think nothing of it.
At that point, I was like, we go together.
And then she brought, and she, we was all friends with Bill Cole, and she the one that really influenced me to really, Bill Cole's my man too. That's my man
What
too.
he did was, it was a building available.
From
And
Reverend Emery.
And at the time, Billy was on 11th and Broadway.
Yeah.
And he was saying, I'm getting evicted out of my building, something about some taxes, I'm going to have to go back to cutting hair at home. And my husband was my friend at the time. He was like, don't go in that building, go downtown Chicago.
Yeah, I was trying to get to downtown Chicago.
I was like, nah, but Billy,
I was trying to get a product downtown, though,
Billy need a place too. And
Yeah, she's like, yeah,
I
Billy.
was
She was
thinking
trying
of
to.
Billy, and he was thinking, hell no, we going down to Chicago with all of this.
He ready to do it big.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was ready to go
but
big then.
I'm a loyal person, so
Yeah, her and Billy was really close.
So I was thinking of like, no, because my friend, he needs somewhere to go to. Well, he was our friend.
Yeah, because Billy's my man's too, though.
He grew up with both of us, and
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, I think.
See,
so
it's
what
Billy.
he did,
It's Billy to them. Is Bill Cole for y'all.
Yeah, Bill Cole. There wasn't no Bill Cole.
See, you just got to clarify that. Shout out to Bill Cole.
Yeah, shout out Bill Cole, man. Shout out Bill Cole.
no,
man.
it's Bill Cole to them is Billy to us.
Yeah, we know him as Billy.
That's what I said.
Yeah. No, you said it backwards.
Okay,
but it's
my
okay. He was Billy to us. But
Real time edit.
So, and I didn't want to go in that big building by myself. So he was like, how much is the building? He wrote a check and gave it to me for the building.
And y'all, at this point, y'all was still friends.
We was just friends.
Yeah.
That's all. We was just friends.
Now, what kind of friends? These type of friends don't come along every day.
He
That's
saw
buying
money.
buildings.
No.
I saw.
Listen, my husband is a numbers guy.
Yeah, I saw potential.
He saw money like he do now.
Yeah, I see potential. I go after it. Come on, man. I met you, Con. I was like, man, you're the greatest rapper alive. What are you talking about?
We
Let's
gonna
move. Let's move.
we gonna get to that in a minute.
Listen, he knew the potential for the business. He said, whatever you need to do to remodel it, I remodeled it. The store, my logo was engraved in the floor. If some of y'all remember that, I had full-length mirrors on all the walls. The shelving was glass. It was glamorous as ever.
So, how much would you say he invested?
I'm not getting into that. Okay. Now, keep it.
She handed the check to Bill Cole. That's what happened.
It wasn't $100. That's what we saying.
No, like he paid cash for the building for me.
Okay, well.
And when I took the check to the man gave me the deed.
Bam. So now you own the building.
Yeah. So then I went in there and fixed up my side of the building.
So at what point did you say, maybe this should not just be my friend,
Well, I didn't say that he did.
What?
Let me shift over
Let
here.
me add something here too. I gotta add this because, Bill Cole was a friend of mine. So
we ain't talking about him.
No, I gotta express it because I'm the type of person that I didn't want to be nobody's landlord or nothing like that. So what I did was I made the agreement to like, hey man, you're gonna get to a position where you can own this building yourself, bro. So I'm not finna you're not gonna be paying me no rent like that. So hey, I did that, but you just pay me back. I don't need no extra or whatever. We good, and you got your building. You can go grow. That's how it was. It wasn't like, I positioned where I bought it and owned the building. No, I positioned him to own the building.
So let me ask you, because she don't want to answer it.
No.
Okay, so who decided that y'all was going to be a couple? Was it her or was it you?
It just kind of happened. It
just kind of happened. She just said that you...
We just started kissing one day and that was it.
No.
Wait a minute now. Come on now, Emil.
We just started kissing one day, man. Like how, what's her name?
Never seen people kiss on the live before.
Excuse me.
What's her name? That song? What she did? I forgot what her name. She just started kissing, man. That's what happened.
Look, she want to end the live now, y'all.
I'm gonna flip it around so they can see.
Hey, look. Okay,
talking.
so obviously, you initiated the kiss.
We both it
mutually
came. It just came together. Boom.
He lying.
It just came together. What are you talking about, babe? Why would I lie? What you? Come on now. It was mutual. We came together. Boom.
You saying the
like
investor
stars.
is lying right now?
Mm-hmm.
How'd it happen?
Because he kissed me.
Oh, he kissed you, and you didn't object.
When we was in my office, I guess. I remember that.
No.
Was
before that.
Before that? We talking about the small peck. I'm talking about the passionate kiss. That was in the office.
Talk your stuff, man.
That was in the office.
Oh my God.
You hit her with the ML.
Hey, that was in the office.
Put the ML on her. She couldn't resist.
Listen, right back then we are like more modern and we've elevated, but he was still doing my life entertainment and I was doing Good Sense, and we both were doing insurance. He gave me literally like a test.
What kind of test?
I went out and got my insurance license, and he gave me like 30 people to see. And he was like, if you could sell any of these, which I believe you can. He gave me those 30 people, and I think it may have been like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And I called him, and I was like...
Came back with like about $15,000-$20,000 of the business.
I said, hey, what you doing? He was like, I'm on my way home. I'm done working for the day. It was about 7 o'clock in the evening. I had just come from Chicago. He said, where you at? I said, I'm leaving Chicago. I got all the applications to the people you gave me and all the checks.
For all of them.
Yeah, it was a check.
Staple to
every application.
She floored me. I ain't gonna lie. That just knocked me off.
Now he gave you a list that he was convinced.
Not a list. They were leads.
Yeah,
he gave you leads.
Yeah.
That he didn't think you could close, but he wanted to see.
Yeah.
And you closed.
He was just, you know how you blowing somebody out? Hey, go do these. And then when I took them, I come back with every last one of them. Everybody kept me a check.
I cut a check right on the spot. I was so impressed.
What did you say? He said, why are you lying to me? I said, I'm not. He said, if you got them checks, I'm gonna shine your shoes.
Yeah, I did. I said, I'm gonna shine your shoes. If you sold all of them, I'm gonna shine your shoes. I told him.
Meet me at my office
right
now.
I said, meet me. Yeah,
I'm
right
doing
now.
a U-turn.
Yeah, and I went.
So what was going through your mind? Because she don't like me to dig in her.
Well, what was going through my mind was, I've been training agents for years, insurance agents and stuff like that. And it was like, in that business, only the top 10% make all the money. People don't make it. They get in the industry and they just gone. Only the top, actually, I ain't gonna say, 10%. Like, yeah. Now here's like 2 or 3. And she came back and did that. And I was like, man, I went through hundreds of agents that could never do that. And here it is. Somebody I went to school with did it. I was like, come on. I was like, how much? Okay. Look. It was worth about 20 grand. I think I cut a check for like 7, 8. I say, look, I got to get my cut off this one. Here about 7, 8.
I was arguing with him. I wanted to know. I said, now how much you make off all of this?
Yeah, she want to know how much I made.
She wanted you to pull the curtain up.
She wanted to know.
He sat up there like this. He said, why you want to know my business? I said, how much do you make off of, how much they going to pay you off all this? He said, that ain't none of your business. I said, well, I'm going to tell you how much I want. Get your check, get your pen out.
Yeah, and I wrote her that check. I was proud. I was cool,
so
right?
You named your price.
Yeah.
And he obliged that
Yeah, I was
price.
cool with it because I was making the same.
So at what
But
point?
he taught me the game of sales inside the financial industry. And I was never ever gonna work for anybody else again.
After that, yeah.
So that elevated you even more.
Yeah,
In addition to what you were already doing as this entrepreneur, that you had been this resourceful person. Now he's giving you another angle and another level to your business.
Well, I'm no matter what, I'm able to work independently. I could work from home, and I don't ever have to work for anybody else again, ever.
Hey, we all now. You know what's interesting? Me and you have in common the fragrance game, and me and him have in common the music game.
Music guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, so I understand both sides, both dynamics of the mindset that you have to have as an entrepreneur to be able to grind and make it.
I'm shivering.
Hey, it's almost over. Don't worry about it. It's a cold world we live in.
It's cold in here.
Mr. ML, we're going to get to you. Now, see, I already know this story is so good. Y'all don't have just a regular story. I'm telling you, it's going to have to be a two-part. So we're going to have to find out in y'all schedule.
Real quickly, before he switch over to the hubby, everybody knows that once I didn't stay in that building at Bill Co's because I hated the location. And so after he spent all that money, I packed up and moved home, and I was like taking orders from home. And I had been for years. And then...
Wait a minute now, you got your logo in the floor.
Yeah, that was something. I was so mad, man. I was mad, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Let me just say this
I was
to you.
mad about that one.
Do not stay where you don't feel good at. I didn't feel good there. My spirit, if my spirit is grieving...
At what point did you realize that before the engraving in the floor or after?
Well, after. And it was a lot going on. Like we had,
it was a lot going on.
We started dating.
It was a lot, and then people wasn't liking it. People wasn't. Me and her hooked up, man. It was a lot of people had a problem with it, man.
And then
people that we were close to, we loved, man. We lost friendships and everything over this. About hooking up.
Billy, number one, he hated it.
I mean, we didn't have to get into that, but man, there's a lot of people, man.
He hated it. Me and him was like this, and he was meddling in my business, and
that was my dude.
Anyway.
So was it the building or the people?
It was the location.
It was.
All of that, man.
Just
the location,
everything.
People, everything,
Listen,
man.
For me, like a lot of people can make a business work in Gary, but for me, what I do is not meant for Gary. That's just me.
Well, that's like me.
Well, it is not meant for just only Gary. It's meant for the world. That's what she means.
Exactly.
She means
some
meant
people
for the world.
are local and some people are global.
Yeah.
I'm global.
Yeah.
So for me,
you understand what she's saying.
I just happen to be in Gary, but I'm really global.
Listen, I'm from Chicago, but I'm also from Gary. I'm from both. I was born in Chicago. My family is there. I can drive there like you go from here to Fifth Avenue, and it's no problem for me. So I'm Team Gary, but I will not put a business there.
Look.
So I went home. I'm selling my products on a website that I built. And then, of course, life happened. We went through our breakup. We went through something real traumatizing. And then I shut the website off. I closed the business 3 times. The last time that I closed it, he was going through something, and it just put me under, and I was not in the mood to be bothered with people. And so this was in 2018, this happened. I got a phone call from a celebrity.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he literally got on the phone and was like, what's going on? Yo, what's going on with the website? I said, it's just... I didn't even know who that was. I said, it's closed temporarily, just a little bit. I need to take a break. He was like, bosses don't take breaks. He said, I need my butters.
And you can't disclose who the celebrity was.
You can tell him.
It's Tim.
He's a celebrity hairstylist. He Mary J. Blige. He do all their hair. Everybody big out there in the industry, he do their hair. So he
had been buying from me for 10 years, and I didn't know it.
See, but it goes back again to you never know.
Well, currently, he's been with me 10 years. So then he was with me for 5. But it's been 10 years now. He reminds me of that every time we talk. So he was like, turn that, I need my butters. And GSO, the only thing I wear on my skin. And so As soon as I turned the site back on, I pressed publish. I didn't even tell nobody the site was on.
It just started hitting ping,
The
ping,
orders
ping,
just
ping,
start
ping,
coming
ping.
in. I think I had an anxiety attack.
People was
But
like
see,
waiting by the computer.
That's all of the years.
And then
Yep.
that was in 2018. And so I had still been home filling orders at home all this time. And we got a pretty big house. We got like a 3-car garage, so it was very roomy. I could keep it. We got a full basement. I had a lot of my inventory at home. And so I told Marlon, I said, I'm tired of being at home. I can't breathe. I love being a housewife. I do. I love spoiling him, catering to him. A lot of people don't know this. I pick out what he gonna wear.
See, but wait, we gonna
She
get
is like a real grandma.
get to how he went from just a
Wait a
friend
minute.
to King Marlon. We got to figure out.
It's funny.
We got to figure out the transition
Hold
of
on.
how you became King Marlon.
I'm summing all of this up, and then you could go over to him. So when I turned that site back on, everything went haywire, and then
Because there were so many orders.
Yeah, it went crazy.
and I hadn't even told nobody that I was turning the site back on. So I told Marlon, I said, I'm going to open up a kiosk in the mall. I'm tired of being at home. And he was like, no, let me read that lease first. I said, I'm already been on my way to get it. Don't sign that lease until I see it. I said, I'm on my way to
That don't sound like no housewife now. That sounds like somebody.
them orders was running me nuts. And so when I told you, when my spirit is grieving, I can't be creative.
Mm-hmm.
So I go out to the mall, and my customers drove from every state.
Literally.
Yeah, didn't they, babe?
Yeah, it was having like girl trips. It'd be like vans,
Just to come by.
just a whole
They-
van full of
products.
women, just
From
12 of them.
Florida,
They had done
Georgia, they
nice,
was coming from
dressed nice,
Arkansas. They
just
came
to come.
from everywhere. I mean, they wiped me clean.
Yeah, it came to support. They loved her.
And
They
he was
loved
like, where you from? And one of them was like, you don't know who your wife is?
They was taking girls trips. I
That
didn't
was
see
in
her.
2019. And then Tim calls me. He was like, "Boo, what you doing? Put me a basket together for Mary and Taraji, both of them."
Mary J. Blige.
So
And Taraji P. Henson.
So I put a basket. I made them. I went live and made the baskets, and they was like huge. So I shipped them to them. Didn't think nothing of it. I'm not a fanatical of anyone or anything.
Right.
So I wasn't over edge.
Except
She
Marlon.
don't get excited with stuff like that.
She don't get excited except for
Nah.
nobody but you.
She's
Yeah.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I can believe that. That's true.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not
I see the smile
Yeah,
on her
she's
face
about right
when I
about
said
that.
that.
I
Let me
ain't gonna lie,
try
she
to
do.
get. You don't
But
get like
listen,
that from
I'm the only
nobody
one
but
I
him.
can get to her like
I'm
that.
not a fanatical of anyone.
It seemed like every time I say your name, though, she smiled. Watch it. Let me try. Marlon. look. Okay.
God is,
look.
hey, man, God is something, man.
I'm one of the coldest. I'm one of the coldest podcasting
Yeah, you are.
people of all time.
Yeah,
now.
you are, man.
I get the stuff they don't want to tell you.
So I sent them the baskets, and I didn't hear from them. I just kept doing what I do, and then a huge order came through, and I was like, "Is that a spam?" And I looked at the email. I was MJB. It was Mary. She was on my site shopping, so she loved the product so much she bounced back and grabbed her a bunch. And then the country shut down.
Pandemic.
Yeah, and I was like, oh damn. So
He was funny,
we
man.
moved everything back home, and then I'm filling orders in my pajamas, and then all of a sudden it was like cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. That went on for hours. Marlon was like, what the hell is that? I said, that's the website. He was like, damn.
Man, I'm looking at that website. I'm like, you mean to tell me that 20 grand in like 2 hours, 3 hours? Like, man, hold up, man, hold up.
It was Taraji.
Probably more than that.
It was Taraji.
Yeah, oh yeah, because she started talking about her product to everybody
Taraji
on her
posted
friends.
me, and I didn't know it.
Yeah, that's what. And it was a windfall after that one. It was a
And
windfall.
then that went on for like a whole year.
Straight.
I couldn't breathe. He was coming home like, what the hell is up?
Yeah, I didn't have a house no more. It was over with. It wasn't even a house. It was like a manufacturing
GSO
facility.
warehouse.
Man. It was a GSO warehouse.
Well, I was at home, and I could everything was there, like the inventory, and it was and then I'm a home decor person, so everything was, I'm used to being neat, and then everything was haywire. I couldn't breathe.
I couldn't either.
I told him, I said, I finna find myself a space. I can't. Every time I rode past Albanese, my stomach started hurting like I would get a cramp. And this is no lie. Every time I get past Albanese, the cramp will go away.
Now, Albanese is a candy factory.
On Route 30.
For y'all that don't know, it's here about 15 minutes from where we are, but it's this massive candy.
Yeah.
All things think Willy Wonka. It's like a Willy Wonka spot.
It sure lives like a Willy Wonka
So you ride
factory.
past Albanese.
You ain't lying about
and
that.
my stomach started hurting. And so I was like, every time I go past, it's something right there by Albanese. I don't know what it is. So I was like, it's a building over there. It was nothing up there for sale. So I called a realtor. And I said, see if there's anything over in that area for sale and she called me back. It took her a week. And she called me back. She said I had to do a little bit of digging, but I got an answer for you. And that's where it was. The building I'm at.
Yeah. Beautiful building too, man.
Ever since we got in there, it's been celebrity after celebrity after celebrity after. And I haven't paid not one of them to do nothing.
That's when you know it's something real. When you don't even have to pay. They don't even ask for no money or nothing.
They
just
I think I saw Brandy posting too.
Yeah, but Brandy. Yeah, Brandy.
Brandy, Naturi Naughton from Power, Tisha Campbell, Niecy Nash I've shipped to Tasha and Cedra Smith, the actresses.
Really, all of them. That's really like they all buying, man. I mean, especially all the Tyler Perry's crew. I mean, everybody.
I mean, it's so many of them at this point. Like I forget, you know what I'm saying? But it's just a few of them.
So how did you even find time to come do this podcast?
Man, look, man, we did it for you, man. Because
interviews are important. It's a part of the business. Content is a part of the business.
We was late.
That is work. You see, I was late in getting here.
We were late
because I was up late last night, getting the shipping boxes ready for today.
Yeah, we were. And I'll be
every day. The shipping,
helping them.
The shipping is off the chain.
Well, first of all, shout out to you. Can y'all make some? Now look. That's the Conscious Nation applauding.
GSO.
But this is what I want to say, because this is definitely part one. We're going to get together after we close out. We're going to figure out a date for y'all to come back. We're going to make sure it's a little warmer in here.
Man, they need to turn the heat on.
It never been this cold in here before.
I don't believe that.
No.
That's cool. That's right, baby.
I don't cap now. It ain't never been.
Listen, can I tell y'all, my husband come home with outfit. He always buy me outfits to match his. And found me a Boss jogging suit, and he got on a Boss jogging suit.
He wouldn't have it no other way.
I love my husband.
We could tell, because them rosy red cheeks, they don't, every time his name come up now, I see it. When love is in the air. So this has been an awesome part one of Mr. and Mrs. Underwood and the GSO story and My Life Entertainment, man. Y'all got to stay tuned. So before we go, I'm going to ask y'all this question now, and I'm going to ask it when we get to part two. Miss Regina, if there was anything you could say, because me and you, we know each other, but it ain't like we grew up with each other and all of that. But just from what you know of me, is that if you could say anything about me to your audience, to my audience, to whoever's listening, what would you say about me, Young Conadine?
I could say that we come from the same planet somewhere out there, because you are creative as ever. Outside of my husband, ranking number one for me, I love the way you do your music.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Come on.
You are. I'm a poet. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
I have a book of poetry. I've laid poetry down on tracks. I've been on the radio.
Okay.
So
the Yusuf, I think, she used to be doing poetry with him. You know Yusuf from Chicago.
Energy begets energy. So, I love your creativity.
Yeah, very creative.
On the
very
music side, man.
I love it too.
We're going to get to the music in part two.
Yeah, we definitely need a part two.
So
yeah, we just do a part two, man.
So you like the fact that I'm a creative.
And I like the fact that you power coupled up with somebody that's just like you.
Shout out to Humble B. Y'all here, man. It's young Conadine and Humble B, man. Y'all see what time it is. So, Mr. Underwood, is there anything that you would like to say about Young Con and Don before we conclude part 1 of this powerful Con After Dark podcast?
Well, I would like to say, Con, you represent as a black man the way a black man should move with other black men. You move without jealousy, without envy. You know how to work with another black person. And I believe that if we can set an example to younger ones and others, that it will really, really bring a lot of unity and a lot of strength to organizations, to a lot of communities, to see how you work and how, with other black people. Because for some reason, we have issues with that. We don't, we want to be the boss, and as a whole, we just got so many mental problems going on when we're trying to work and build, where it just things end because people got egos in place, right, and stuff like that. Whereas we're a lot alike because the goal is this, and me and you both working for the goal. If I gotta be the slave and you gotta be the boss, I'm working under you. If I gotta be, we can switch at any moment, and I love it because it's like a beautiful unit, and we accomplish the goal every time.
And that's what's up.
I like that about you.
Y'all are wonderful together.
Yeah, we a team. See, I never forget the day I met him. And I ended on this. I was out in the middle of 45th and Broadway, and I was selling my CDs. He rolled up. He was in a Range Rover, and he rolled the window down. He said, "Hey, man, how much your CDs?" And I was like, $5 or three for 10. I said, they 3 for 10. I was lowballing myself. I was just trying to get him out there. He said, "Well, here go 20." So he gave me a 20 for the CDs, and about a week later, it was on a Sunday, I got a phone call. He said, "Yeah, man, this Marlon, man, I don't know if you remember me or not, but I bought your CDs from you about a week ago, and I just wanted to say, man, I ain't trying to jock you or nothing, man, but you are cold, man." He said, "When I say you cold, I mean you like Jay-Z cold."
I saw it.
And Jada Kiss and all. You up there with all them, man, and I've been listening to your stuff all week.
And he came home and told me that.
Yeah. Had her listening to it. I was like, man,
He
you hear
did.
this?
He did.
It's like, you hear this?
He was like, "Hey, he is the most overlooked individual."
Yeah. That's why I wanted to get you involved with me in the music, because I was like, man, the world got to know who you are. You got to, you got to know, because, this kind of talent, man, you just can't, But then I did my research on it. You did a lot of in Chicago, man, with your group and stuff.
Soldiers,
you guys sold
War.
a lot. Soldiers, well, you guys sold a lot of. I think y'all sold more CDs than anybody in history.
We sold over 200,000 copies independently in Chicago.
Yeah, they did. Independently, they did that. So that's why I was like, okay, now I see who he is. I was like, okay, that's why he who he is. Look where he come from.
We gonna pick up part 2 with My Life Entertainment.
And I like how you got the B on your chest.
When I met Humble B, because I just fell for it, so I redesigned my logo. That was the logo before. Mm-hmm. So that was me. But then when I met her, I say, well, I'm going to make a logo for both of us.
That's nice.
And because she has my heart, I wanted the B to be over my heart.
Oh
man. And so nice. That's now.
Oh, don't make me cry.
That's our. I'm just telling you. I told the designer, I said, I want the B over my heart, because that's what she means to me. And I feel like that she compliments me and is willing to support me in every way possible. So shout out to my queen, Humble B, and I put that B on my chest, and I ride and represent for her everywhere I go, and that's just what it is. But before I met her, I just rolled by myself, and because I know I'm a lot.
You were married before.
I've been married 3 times.
Well, I met the wife before Humble B. She had the shoe store.
Yeah.
And we came in and supported. Remember, I still have shoes from that shoe store.
And I don't make no bones about it. I ride for mine. Anybody that knows me, they know I'm loyal. They know I'm committed. Either I'm gonna do it or I'm not. But if I tell you I'm gonna do it, you can bank on it. And so I appreciate y'all for taking this time out to be on this podcast. I don't know when it's gonna air, but man, I thank y'all. And we gotta do a part 2 because we didn't finish
You didn't
your
get to
story.
Underwood, but
And
look,
we didn't even get to tap into yours.
I enjoyed hearing my
it's
wife.
so
I enjoyed hearing Gina. I enjoyed you, baby. You was just special. You know, I mean, hearing
and
that.
you did a phenomenal
Yeah, you did a
job,
great
though.
job.
For this to be
You did a great job.
your first big podcast, right? This ain't no joke right here. And watch when you play it back and you watch it back on my partner Corey King's page.
King, Miyagi.
You gonna see that you did an awesome job,
good.
and I know that your audience and your fan base
they loved it.
they love it
yeah,
because
you got to get time for that.
one
you
thing
can't just
about
jump over.
you,
Go
one
see what
thing
got
about
going on.
you is you are authentic, and a lot of people struggle with being themselves. You are the content.
Yeah, she definitely is.
You're unafraid and unapologetically you at all times.
At all times, that's
and
facts.
that's why you can be comfortable in your skin. I'm comfortable in my skin. So the person you meet on camera is the same person you're gonna get in real life.
That's right. Yeah.
But everybody don't have that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have that.
I tell people that about me. What you see is what you get, and I'm brutally honest.
But that's a rarity.
And so, like, I'm very careful with my words, but I still speak it as though it is.
But see, we live in a world where fake is the new real.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah.
And real,
And real is weird. Real is
you get castigated and punished for being real.
Yep.
That's why if you build things yourself, nobody can cancel you. Nobody can fire you when you your own boss.
And that's what she built too. She built something
So,
that, man, can't nobody take.
when you
nobody take that
build
from her.
it,
they will come.
it's yours.
Yep.
I said when you build it, they will come.
Yep.
Man, you see what I'm doing now. I ain't playing no games.
I just asked Marlon. I was like, "Babes, get me on some podcast."
Yeah, and then you come.
Because-
And look, I didn't even there. He just hit me up. He was like, the spirit of the universe must hit
power
him.
of the tongue.
Yeah.
And I had thought about having you on here for at least 2 months before I called him. And
The timing is
because
everything,
of all
though.
of the work that I've seen you do and
You
work
knew it
that
could
I
be
know
hard.
he's done,
Yeah.
I said, man, I wonder.
And just know that work is not easy. Doing content to keep your business relevant is more than making the products for me. It's like the content is draining.
Oh yeah.
Cause I got a ton of videos right now. I don't care what I'm doing, where I am, I'll get a snippet of something.
That's right.
But putting it all together and making it come alive is the hard part.
But see, if you go on my Instagram, you see I specialize in
Yeah,
it.
he does.
I am.
Yeah,
Look,
he said, see, I
I'm the queen-
specialize.
I'm the queen
Hey,
of-
God.
If anybody
Ain't no
asks me,
joke now.
how
specialize in
do
this.
you do it? I said,
I gotta learn
don't
how you
care-
be moving with
I
that
don't
on
care
that.
where you are. If it's 3 seconds, film something. If it's 10 seconds, film something. And then go back later and put them all together and create a story because people love reality.
for the whole audience, this is what I say. Life is a reality show, but you are scared to show your reality. And the money is in your story.
It's in the story.
And if you are unafraid to tell your story and to show your reality, you will never go broke a day in your life. Stop playing, follow the follower, and learn how to just be yourself and get in your lane
And get
because the
people to follow
highway
you.
is open. When you are yourself, it's an open highway. But when you try to be the next somebody else, that's where you're going to get into a
where
traffic
you're gonna
jam.
get a trap,
I
yeah.
don't know. Every podcast, I always have a commercial break where I go in on this camera and I'm telling y'all, man, be yourself. Turn that phone on. Show the people who you are, what you got going on, what you doing in real life, and they gonna tap in with you. Quit being scared of this phone. It's meant for more than just texting and watching somebody else while you scrolling on Facebook or Instagram. No, be something for them to scroll at, to
right.
look at
To
you.
follow you.
Be somebody to give the game that you got from back in the day because you never know who you gonna impact, man.
That's
I'm
right.
done with this podcast, man. It's over with. Y'all counting down. Kind after dark. Earvin-Underwood, GSO.
That's
we
on
in the
my
building,
life.
man. We up out of here. We'll see y'all next time.
Underwood.
It's a wrap.
Oh, it's over?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to you.
No, we ain't got time. We ain't got
Oh
no
my
time for that.
God,
I think he did right.